The new Nigerian tax law ushers in a new era when it comes to payment of taxes in Nigeria. And just like every other sector, the real estate sector has been greatly affected by this policy shift by the Nigerian government. The new act does something that has not been done before, and that is harmonize all real estate taxes under one single cohesive legal framework. What this means is that all taxes regarding sale of property, VAT, capital gains tax, rent are harmonized under one single law that can be accessed, which is the Nigerian Tax Act 2025. So how does this new law affect you, the clients, when engaging in real estate transactions? The Act provides for rent reliefs up to 20% capped at 500,000 naira for residential homes. What does this mean? If 20% of your rent is less than 500,000, you get the entire 20% as tax relief deductible from your annual taxable income. But if 20% of your rent is more than 500,000, you only get 500,000 as tax relief from the government. Also, the repealed Capital Gain Tax Act has been absorbed into this new tax law. Henceforth, profits made from the sale, transfer, or compulsory acquisition of lands and buildings are subject to capital gains tax, except in few exempt cases, such as sale of personal residence or charitable property. What this means is if you buy a land or a house for investment and sell at a profit later on, you'll be required to pay capital gains tax on the profit realized from the sale of that property. Section 131 to 135 of the new tax law also reaffirms that property sales, sale agreements, and lease of properties are chargeable instruments subject to stamp duty. The Act clearly states that unstamped property documents like sale agreements, lease agreements, deed of assignment, and tenancy agreements will not be admissible in court as evidence. Meaning, if there's an issue to arise from that transaction, as long as it is not stamped properly and stamp duty paid, it will not be admissible in court as evidence. On value-added tax, previously our tax laws were unclear on which situations VAT were applied to, but under the new tax law, it is clear. Value-added tax will only apply to commercial transactions. So if you are renting a house or you are buying a land for personal use, there will be no value-added tax. But if you're getting a property for commercial use, maybe a shop, a mall, a shortlet apartment, value-added tax will apply. Finally, under Section 30 Sub 2A, interest loans from developing a personal residential home shall be deducted from your total taxable income. This is to ensure that people are inspired, to take loans to build residential homes. So this is an overview of how the new tax law affects you as a client and investor in real estate. I hope you learned something. See you on the next one.